Welcome back to English Speaking Corner, your quiet space for building real confidence. Imagine this. You're standing in a busy sandwich shop. There is noise everywhere, plates crashing, people talking, and the server looks at you and says something incredibly fast like, "For here or to go and want chips." Your heart stops instantly. You did not catch a single word. You feel the people behind you waiting, getting impatient. You feel the heat rising in your face. So what do? You just nod and say, yes, and you hope for the best.
I actually did this exact thing in a taxi last month. The driver asked me something very quickly. I panicked, I just nodded yes, and he took me to the completely wrong terminal at the airport. It cost me 20 minutes and a lot of unnecessary stress.
That is the nodding trap, and today we are going to break it. I will teach you the speed control technique. 3 polite, simple ways to slow the world down to your pace, so you never have to fake your understanding again.
You know, Anna, that feeling of panic is physical. It's not just about grammar or vocabulary. When someone speaks too fast, your brain just freezes. It feels like a wall comes down.
Exactly, Mark. And the biggest mistake we make in that moment is trying to be polite by pretending we understand. We think, if I ask him to repeat it, he'll think my English is bad. Or if I ask her to slow down, she'll get annoyed. So we nod, we smile, and we end up with a sandwich we hate or at the wrong airport terminal.
It's a defense mechanism. We're trying to protect our dignity. We want to look fluent. But nodding blindly actually makes us look less fluent because we usually give the wrong answer. If the server asks, "Do you want onions?" and you just nod and smile, you might get a lot of onions you don't want.
Today, we are going to replace that panic reaction with a control reaction. We are going to learn how to take charge of the speed of the conversation. You do not have to speak at their speed. You can bring them down to your speed.
This is such an important mindset shift. You are not a passive victim of the conversation. You are an active participant. If the audio is too fast, you have the remote control. You can press pause. You can press rewind.
Let's start with the first part of the speed control protocol. We call this the environment blame.
I love this one because it takes the pressure off you. Usually, when we don't understand, we blame ourselves. We think, "Oh no, my listening skills are terrible," or "I should have studied more."
Right. And then we say something like, "I am sorry, my English is bad," or "Sorry, can you speak slowly?" Now, there's nothing wrong with those phrases, but they put you in a lower position. They make you feel small.
They act like an apology. You are apologizing for existing.
Exactly. The environment blame strategy is different. Instead of blaming your English, you blame the room. You blame the noise. You blame the bad connection. This saves your face. It protects your confidence.
So if we are in that loud sandwich shop and the server mumbles something fast, what should we say?
You should say, "Sorry, it's a bit loud in here. Could you say that again?"
That is brilliant. You're telling the truth. It is loud, but you're also signaling that you didn't hear them without saying, "I am bad at English."
Let's listen to that phrase again. It's simple, but the delivery matters. You want to sound calm, not panicked. Listen, "Sorry, it's a bit loud in here. Could you say that again?"
I like how you keep your voice steady. Let's try practicing that. Listen to Anna and then shadow her during the pause.
"Sorry, it's a bit loud in here."
Could you say that again?
"Sorry, it's a bit loud in here. Could you say that again?"
Even if the room is not incredibly loud, this phrase works. It forces the other person to speak up and speak clearly. When people speak louder, they naturally speak slower. It's a physical habit. You can't mumble when you're shouting.
That is a great tip. By asking them to overcome the noise, you are secretly asking them to slow down.
What if we are on the phone? The loud room excuse might not work if I'm sitting in a quiet office.
On the phone, you blame the connection. You can say, "Sorry, the connection is a bit bad. Could you repeat that?"
Again, you're not saying "I don't understand." You're saying the technology is failing us. It's a shared problem, not your personal failure.
Let's practice the phone version. Listen and repeat. "Sorry, the connection is bad."
Could you repeat that?
"Sorry, the connection is bad."
Could you repeat that?
This is your first line of defense. It buys you a second chance. The native speaker will repeat the sentence, usually louder and clearer. But sometimes, Anna, even when they repeat it, they still speak too fast. They just say the same fast thing but louder. That happens all the time. And that brings us to the second part of the protocol, the processing pause.
This is about buying time, right?
Yes. When we hear a new sentence in a second language, our brain needs time to process it. We need to translate, decode the sounds, and find the meaning. This takes maybe 2 or 3 seconds, but in a conversation, 2 seconds of silence feels like an hour.
It feels terrible. The silence hangs in the air. You look at them, they look at you, and because of that awkward silence, you feel the panic rising again. You feel the need to say something immediately.
So we need to fill that silence with something that gives our brain time to work. We need a processing pause phrase. This is a phrase that means I am thinking, but it sounds natural.
It is like a loading screen on a computer. It tells the other person, I am still here, I am just working on the answer.
Exactly. The best phrase for this is simple. Just a moment, let me think. Or even simpler, hang on a second.
But you have to say it slowly, right? If you say it fast, you sound stressed.
Yes, the speed of your voice sets the speed of the interaction. If you speak quickly, they will speak quickly. If you want them to slow down, you must slow down first.
That is powerful. You lead the dance.
Let's try it. Imagine the server asks you a complicated question about the menu. You need time to read the board. Do not just stand there in silence. Take a deep breath and say, just a moment. Let me look.
Let's practice that. Shadow Anna. Notice how she stretches the words. She is calm. She is in control.
Just a moment. Let me look. Just a moment. Let me look.
You can also use this when you are searching for a word. I often forget specific vocabulary when I am stressed. Instead of freezing, I can say, just a moment, the word is gone.
Or, hang on, let me think how to say this. It shows you are confident enough to take up space. You are allowed to take up time. You are a customer or a colleague or a friend. You deserve the time to think.
I think many of us feel we are a burden. We feel we are wasting the native speaker's time, so we rush. And when we rush, we make mistakes.
Taking 3 seconds to give a correct answer saves more time than rushing and giving the wrong answer. Remember Mark's taxi story? He rushed to be polite and he lost 20 minutes. If he had taken 5 seconds to say, just a moment, let me check my ticket, he would have been on time.
That is so true. The processing pause is actually the most efficient way to communicate.
Let's try one more variation of this. Sometimes you understand the words, but you need to make a decision. The server asks, do you want the combo deal with chips and a drink or just the sandwich? That is a lot of information.
Too much information.
So you say, one moment, I am deciding.
Let's practice that.
One moment,
I am deciding.
one moment, I am deciding.
By using these phrases, you stop the other person from interrupting you. If you stay silent, they will ask the question again, maybe in a different way, and that just adds more noise to your brain.
Right. You are holding up a hand and saying, pause. It is very empowering.
Before we move to the third strategy, I want to remind everyone that building this kind of reflex takes time. You cannot just listen once and expect it to happen automatically when you are stressed.
That is true. You need to practice these phrases until they are automatic. And if you want to practice more dialogues like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We release these calm, practice-focused episodes every week to help you build exactly this kind of real-world confidence. It is completely free, and it helps us keep making these lessons for you.
So we have the environment blame to handle the noise, we have the processing pause to handle the silence, but what happens if we really just missed one specific detail?
That leads us to the third strategy, the specific re-ask.
Usually when we miss a word, we say, what? Or repeat, please?
The problem with repeat please is that it forces the other person to say the whole paragraph again, and they usually say it exactly the same way. If you didn't understand it the first time, you might not understand it the second time.
It is also exhausting for them. They feel like they are starting over.
The specific re-ask is different. You only ask about the part you missed. This proves that you understood most of the sentence. It shows you are a competent listener who just missed one detail. Can you give us an example?
Let's go back to the sandwich shop. The server says, we have cheddar, Swiss, or provolone cheese, and they say it very fast. Maybe you heard cheddar and Swiss, but you missed the last one. Instead of saying, can you repeat everything, what do I say?
You say, did you say cheddar, Swiss, and what was the last one?
Ah, that is much better. It shows I heard the first two. It makes the server feel heard, and they only have to repeat one word, provolone.
Exactly. And usually when they repeat just one word, they say it very clearly. Provolone.
What if I didn't catch the first part?
Then you can use the or technique. This is my favorite. If the server asks a question and you only heard the word chips, you can say, "Did you say chips or?"
And you let the voice trail off.
Yes, you invite them to fill in the blank. Did you say chips or?
And they will naturally finish the sentence. Or salad.
Precisely. You are collaborating to build the meaning. You are working together. It changes the dynamic from teacher-student to two people solving a problem.
Let's practice the did you say structure. Imagine someone gives you a time. The meeting is at 2:30, but you are not sure if they said 2:30 or 3:30.
You ask, did you say 2:30 or 3:30?
Let's shadow that. It is a very useful pattern.
Did you say 2:30?
Or 3:30.
Did you say 2:30 or 3:30?
This is so much better than just saying repeat. It is precise.
Let's try another one. The server asks, do you want it heated? You heard, do you want it, but you missed the last word.
So I say,
Do you want it? Sorry, what was the last word?
that is a great phrase. What was the last word? Let's practice that one.
Sorry, what was the last word?
Sorry, what was the last word?
By using these three strategies, environment blame, processing pause, and specific re-ask, you are building a shield. You are protecting yourself from the speed of the native speaker.
You are no longer helpless. You have tools. Now, I want to put this all together. We are going to run a simulation. I want you to imagine you are back in that noisy shop. I will be the fast-talking server. Mark will be your inner voice guiding you. Okay, listeners, close your eyes if you can. You are hungry. It is lunchtime. The line is moving fast. It is your turn. Hi there, what can I get started for you? Whoa, that was fast. Don't panic. Don't nod. Use the environment blame. Tell her it is loud.
Pause for listener to speak.
Did you say it? Sorry, it is loud in here. Can you say that again? Let's see how the server reacts.
Oh, sorry. I said, what can I get started for you?
Great, you understood that. You order a sandwich. Now she asks about the bread. Wet, white, rye, or sourdough? Okay, that was a list. You heard white and wheat but missed the rest. Use the specific re-ask. Did you say white, wheat, and?
Pause for listener to speak.
Good. Ask for the missing part.
We have rye or sourdough as well.
Perfect. You choose sourdough. Now comes the payment. That'll be $7.50 cash or card. You need a moment to find your wallet. Don't let her stare at you. Use the processing pause. Say, just a moment, let me find my card.
Pause for listener to speak.
Excellent. You successfully ordered lunch without nodding blindly once. You controlled the speed. You got exactly what you wanted.
How did that feel? Hopefully it felt different than the usual panic. Hopefully you felt a little bit of power.
The key here is that you did not become more fluent in terms of vocabulary in the last 5 minutes. You did not learn 100 new words, but you became much more capable of handling a real conversation.
Confidence does not come from knowing every word. Confidence comes from knowing what to do when you don't know the word.
That is the best definition of confidence I have heard, knowing what to do when you don't understand.
I want to address one fear that I know many of you have. You might worry, if I say it is loud or just a moment, will the other person be angry?
Honestly, in 99% of cases, no. Most people, especially service workers, are on autopilot. They are saying the same phrases hundreds of times a day. They speak fast because they're bored or busy, not because they're angry.
When you slow them down politely, you actually help them. You break their loop. You make the interaction human again.
And think about the alternative. If you nod and get the order wrong, then they have to remake the sandwich. That makes them angry. Asking for clarification saves everyone time in the long run.
It's the same at work. If your boss gives you instructions quickly and you just nod and then you do the work wrong, that's a problem. If you say, just a moment, let me write this down to be sure, your boss will respect you. They will see you as careful and professional.
So the processing pause actually makes you look professional, not stupid.
Exactly. Speed is not intelligence. Clarity is intelligence.
I think we should talk about the nod reflex one more time. It is such a hard habit to break. I still find myself doing it in new languages.
It is a physical habit. We nod to show we are listening. In many cultures, nodding means I hear you, not I understand you. But in English, especially in instructions, a nod is usually interpreted as, yes, I understand, go ahead.
So we need to replace the physical habit of nodding with a verbal habit of checking.
Try to catch yourself. Next time you feel your head moving up and down when you are confused, freeze your neck. Keep your head still and open your mouth. Use one of our phrases. Sorry, I missed that.
It is almost like a game. The floor is lava, but instead it is the nod is danger.
The nod is danger. I like that. If you nod without understanding, you lose the game. If you ask a question, you win.
We have covered a lot today. We have the environment blame, it is loud in here, the processing pause, just a moment, and the specific re-ask, did you say X or Y?
I suggest you pick just one of these to start with. Do not try to memorize all of them at once. Which one feels the most natural to you?
For me, just a moment is the most useful. I use it every day, even in my native language. It just buys peace of mind.
For me, it is the specific re-ask. I like confirming details. It makes me feel sure.
So Anna, what is the challenge for this week? How can our listeners practice this without flying to an English-speaking country and finding a sandwich shop?
I have a specific challenge for you. It is called the phone challenge.
Oh, this sounds interesting.
We all get those annoying spam calls, or sometimes a wrong number. Or maybe you can call a customer service line for a product you don't even own just to ask a question.
Okay, so low stakes.
Extremely low stakes. When you are on that call, I want you to use the environment blame technique, even if you hear them perfectly.
So the person says, hello, how are you? And I pretend I didn't hear?
Yes, I want you to say, sorry, the connection is bad. Could you say that again?
And just see what happens?
Yes. Watch how they react. Watch how they slow down. And most importantly, watch how you feel. You will realize that the world does not end. They do not get angry. They just repeat themselves.
That is a great experiment. It proves to your brain that it is safe to stop the flow.
Once you see that it is safe on the phone, you will feel brave enough to try it in person.
And you can do this today. You don't have to wait.
Exactly. Control the speed, and you control the confidence.
Thank you for listening to this session. It is always a pleasure to practice with you.
Remember, you are doing great. Every time you refuse to just nod and hope, you are becoming a stronger speaker. We will see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.